Hey y'all. Um, this is the first time I've done a live stream on YouTube. I know I've been missing in action from my YouTube channel lately. I was making a lot of progress, and then bam, fucking Twitter came through and fucked shit all up. Um, so I know a lot of you have been following me for a really long time, and I'm going to give you like the synopsis version of what happened. So about a year and a half ago, I lost my original account. Some dude was trying to argue abortion with me, and I sarcastically said in all capital letters and obviously really snarky to eat all of the babies. And when I said babies, I spelled it like BABBBYYYYZZZZZ. Like it was just really obnoxious. But apparently that was against hate speech. But I could have people inbox me that they were gonna rape me. So another Twitter double standard. So I came back with a different name, kind of incognito, and about 3 weeks, almost a month ago, I got popped for evading a permanent suspension. A permanent suspension, which was bullshit to begin with, but I didn't have it in me to actually fight with Twitter repeatedly back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So that is what happened. If you're looking for me, I'm definitely not Dorothy. So look for Def, DEF, not Dorothy on Twitter, and you might find somebody you know. While I continue to harass Twitter about my account. So, what I am here to chat about today, hey David, say hi. So what I'm here to talk about today is my book. As many of you know, I've written a shit ton of books. So in my publishing career so far, I have about 20 fictional erotic novels, which I mean, not all of them would fall into the erotica category. I mean, some are suspense and some are mystery, and some, I mean, they're all fiction. And this book is the first book I'm doing that is not fiction. And it has been a very interesting project to work on. And since all of this has started, the coronavirus and getting laid off from work and, all of that, I have decided to jump right back into writing. So yesterday, I put up a link on my Medium blog with the foreword of the book. It is hot as balls out here, man. Oh, Florida, I'm telling you. But I'm hiding at home. People are crazy. They think this coronavirus shit is not like a thing. It's a thing. So yeah, I've been writing. And I put up the foreword on the book yesterday, and I got some really awesome feedback. I try not to send my writing to my parents, just because we're just not on the same page, and it's just weird. My mother has read all of the books I've written, even though, like, in my signing them and gifting them to her, I'll write, like, don't read this one or skip this chapter. But yeah, so my mom has read them all. My dad, on the other hand, obviously, I think erotic romance is not going to be something that he's interested in reading, which I don't blame him. It would be really fucking weird if you read it. So he's never read any of my books. So when I shared the link with my foreword yesterday, I have planes flying over here and shit. The hell? My dad read it last night, there just so happened to be some family drama on the side of the family that I'm writing about. And he read it and he cried. And my mom told me about that this morning. And it was like one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing okay with this project. So, needless to say, I'm going to give you a little background on Our Mother's Secrets, which I think that the title itself is pretty self-explanatory. My mother is one of 10 children. One of my uncles passed away shortly after birth, and then my mother had 7 sisters and 1 brother that she grew up with. And their birth years span from the late 40s straight through to the 70s. So my grandmother just cranked kids out left and right because apparently like that was what you did back then. If I had 10 kids, I'd shoot myself in the face. Not even fucking kidding, because 3 is like, I'm right here. So I don't know how she did it. Well, she kind of didn't do it, and that's the point of the book. So yeah, so there was all these kids, and my grandmother had all these girls, and she didn't like women. Surprise. So you have this misogynist raising 8 women. And the deeper you look and the more stories that you hear, or the things that I witnessed, or, the stories my mom has told me over the years of just trying to make me understand how lucky my generation is to have access to the rights that we do, and birth control and abortion, things like that. I don't think that a lot of people in my generation understand what shit was like then. So that's where it brings me to a sip of water because I'm trying to stay hydrated. The heat index with the humidity out here today is like 105 degrees. I don't even know why I'm out here. Actually, I do, because it's quiet. So anyways, that brings me to really the whole purpose of the book as a whole, is that you have a woman who wasn't an awesome mom raising a bunch of women who ended up having it rough because of that. So it's really hard to kind of talk about and explain without shit talking, really. But I'll give you an example. One of my aunts got pregnant when she still lived at home, and she was 18 and she was just graduating. So for her graduation present, ooh, is that a mosquito? I got eaten alive out here. There's like a tiny hole on my screen, and hold on. Oh no, it moved off my computer screen. I'll probably smash my screen trying to get it. Not getting eaten. So anyways, so my grandmother, as a graduation gift, gave her a set of luggage and a plane ticket to go live with the father of this child in a different state. Now, mind you, my aunt had left and didn't want anything to do with him because he was just a very abusive person. But she was the kind of person that she was like, well, you fucked up, so out of my house you go. My mother was 15 years old in 1969. when she had my brother. In the subsequent years following that, she didn't talk to her mother only because she kicked her out of her house. She drove her across the state and married her off at 15 to the boy, and sent her to go live with him and his family. Oh, sorry, you're not my problem anymore. And that was her way of parenting. And looking back as a mom myself, obviously it's not okay. But apparently in the 60s, it was fucking perfectly fine. And it was before abortion was legal. So even in the worst of situations, they had no options. It's really been rough to write as a woman myself. It's been rough for me to write these stories as the mother of a daughter. And I feel like some of the stuff that has taken place over the years is just so batshit crazy that people would be astonished that this is what was taking place in your average Connecticut middle class household in the 60s and the 70s, and even in the 50s, because that's when a lot of the siblings were molded into who they would become. Like I wrote in the foreword of the book, this is not a tell-all rag, although there are some members of the family I would love to punch in the face, which is why I live in Florida and pick and choose who I talk to and associate with. Now, I think that's the pleasure of being an adult. You aren't forced to interact with family members just because you just so happen to share a bloodline with them. And I think that that's another lesson that I'm kind of teaching my children, is that blood doesn't matter. Your family is who you choose to surround yourself with. And I think that that's something that's really important for people to understand. And in the climate that we have in this country, not feel guilty about it, or feel guilty about those you may no longer talk with. Some of the stories included in this book you're going to read and you're going to be like, that never fucking happened. And I'm just here to assure you that it sure as fuck did. I have one aunt that married a millionaire. Like, dude left his wife of 40 something years. He was much older than her. Left his wife, gave her all kinds of money, and married my aunt. Yeah. And her daughter is helping me with this project. I have a couple of my cousins that are helping me with firsthand stories of their childhood experiences and things that they learned from their mothers. We have big age differences, so the grandkids in my family, meaning me and all of the cousins, we span from being born in 1968. Yes, my brother is born in 69. There's one cousin that's older than him. So my grandmother and my aunts and my mother were all having babies at the same time. There's like 3 babies. Like my grandmother and two of my cousins that were born within like a month and a half of each other. Um, so that kind of shows you the weird dynamic of our family. Um, so the cousins that are helping me, one's younger than me, one's older than me. So it's not just my perspective, and it's not just the stories that I've gotten from my mother. It's, it's outside influence, and it's others' experiences within the same family. Um, a lot of addiction, a lot of drug use, a lot of um, abuse, whether it came from the men that came and went, or um, at the hands of their own mom. So I think that it's a really good conversation to open up, because I mean, just yesterday I was scrolling on Facebook and a friend of mine shared a picture of, the coat hanger with the lion through it. And, it's astonishing at how many people my generation and younger don't understand what that symbolizes and why that was used as a pro-choice symbol for so long. Which to me is kind of disheartening, because we've never had to live through that generation. Needless to say, this is a book about the generational differences. I will add the link to the forward in the comments. And I want to thank everybody who has read it and given me feedback so far. I want to thank everybody who has shared it on Twitter and your different platforms. Ooh, that's a creamsicle ice cream I had earlier. Told you it is hot out here, man. I'm almost at 20 minutes, so I'm gonna let y'all go. I miss you. I'm kind of okay. I miss all the people who have reached out and have been looking for me on Twitter, Instagram, various places that you've tried to find me. Now you know where to find me. And I hope that you are all well. I am coronavirus free, hanging in my house, climbing the walls, talking to myself on YouTube, because I'm not leaving the house. Disney World's about to open. You know that I would have been the first motherfucker in line there. Hello. This is my birthday gift for myself. Tomorrow's my birthday. But I'm not going nowhere. Florida has lost its ever-loving mind. I'm going to stay home, and I'm going to stay safe, and enjoy your Rona out there. Wear a mask. Gosh. Florida. I swear people are so inconsiderate sometimes. I go to the Walmart curbside pickup, and seeing the people walking into the actual store, I'm like, it's a hard pass. So I hope everybody's well. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Love you all. Oz out.